April 2015, a 76-year-old man boards a London bus using his free travel pass for pensioners. He gets off in Hatton Garden, London's Diamond District. He is going to work. Behind him, 6 more men. Average age, 63. One needs insulin injections. One keeps falling asleep. One has brought a book called Forensics For Dummies. Over the next 4 nights, these men will drill through 50 centimeters of reinforced concrete and empty 73 vaults. It becomes the largest burglary in English legal history, and they almost walk away with it because nobody believes old men could have done it. Every crime leaves a file. This is Exify. Hatton Garden, a single street in central London, barely 400 meters long. For 300 years, this is where Britain has bought and sold its diamonds. 300 businesses, 60 shops, and underneath one of them, a room where the trade keeps what it cannot afford to lose. Hatton Garden Safe Deposit. 999 boxes in a basement, behind a door that weighs more than a car. Inside those boxes, dealer's stock, family gold, cash, and a great deal that nobody ever declared to anybody. The customers liked it precisely because nobody asked questions. No names on the boxes, no inventory, no records of what went in. Which meant that when it was finally robbed, nobody could say for certain what had been taken. The walls were reinforced concrete, half a meter thick. The vault sat below ground, with a single way in. Alarms on every level. Cameras in the corridors. A lift that could only be called with a key. By every reasonable measure, this room could not be entered. But the building above it was Victorian, and the company that guarded it employed very few people. At night, the whole place emptied. Nobody slept in the building. Nobody watched the screens. And the alarm, when it went off, rang in an office miles away, where somebody had to decide whether it mattered. Somebody had noticed all of this. Not recently. Years earlier. He had watched the guards arrive and leave. He had timed the shutters. He had counted the cameras. He knew the lift could be disabled from inside. He knew the shaft ran straight down to the basement. And he knew that once a year, this street shut down completely. Easter. 4 consecutive days when the Diamond District does not open. 4 days with no deliveries, no traders, no reason for anybody to look at a locked door. In April 2015, 7 men decided to use them. They were not a gang. Most of them had been retired for years. Brian Reeder was 76. He had been stealing since before most policemen were born. In 1983, 3 tons of gold vanished from a warehouse near Heathrow. Reeder helped turn it into money. He served 9 years for it. He came out, buried his wife, and lived quietly for 2 decades. The others called him the Master. When Brian Reeder agreed to a job, people came. Terry Perkins was 67 and diabetic and had done this before. In 1983, he robbed a security depot in East London, £6 million. Over the Easter weekend, 32 years later, he would rob another vault on the same weekend of the year. Kenny Collins was 74, drove a white Mercedes, and would be given the simplest job of all: watch the street.
Danny Jones was 58, and the strangest of them. He trained daily. He slept in his mother's dressing gown, and he prepared for the job by reading a paperback called Forensics For Dummies. Carl Wood was 58, in debt, and frightened of the whole idea from the beginning.
Billy Lincoln was 60, bought fish at Billingsgate every week, and was brought in to move the takings.
6 men, between them more than 400 years of life and several lifetimes of convictions.
And a 7th, whose name nobody knew.
They called him Basil. He had red hair, an understanding of alarm systems, and a key to the building. Nobody ever established how he got it. They met on Friday nights in a pub in Islington for 3 years. They talked about it the way other men that age talk about golf. They studied the building. They ordered the tools. And they waited for the calendar. Thursday, the 2nd of April, 2015. The last shutter on Hatton Garden came down at 6 in the evening. The street would not open again for 4 days. 9:21 in the evening, a white van turns into Hatton Garden and stops. Basil goes in first, through the front door with a key, like a man coming home. Inside, he climbs to the 2nd floor and opens a fire escape from the inside. 3 minutes later, the rest of them are inside the building. They do not touch the stairs to the vault. They disable the lift, force the shaft doors, and climb down. 2 floors down, in the dark, they force the shutter into the basement corridor. And there it is, the wall. 50 centimeters of reinforced concrete, steel bar running through it in both directions. They have brought a diamond core drill. It is the kind of machine used to open motorway bridges. It weighs more than the men carrying it, and it makes a noise you can hear through a wall. 20 past midnight, the alarm goes off. It reaches a monitoring company. The monitoring company calls the police. The call is logged, assessed, and graded as not requiring a response. No officers are sent. In the basement, the men wait 20 minutes in the dark. Nobody comes. They start the drill again. They cut 3 holes side by side and knock out the concrete between them. By 3 in the morning, there is a hole through half a meter of concrete, and it opens onto nothing. On the other side of the wall stands a steel cabinet bolted to the floor, directly in front of the hole. They push, they lever it, they rig a pump against it. The cabinet does not move. 4 in the morning. The pump fails. Somebody says out loud that it is over. And Brian Reeder, 76 years old, picks up his bag and leaves. He goes home on the bus. He will never return to the building. Good Friday. The men who are left meet in a cafe and argue. Carl Wood wants out. He has not slept. He is certain they are already being watched. Danny Jones does not want out. He has spent 3 years on this. He works out what went wrong. The pump was not strong enough. That is the only problem. Saturday afternoon, in an ordinary shop, they buy a new hydraulic ram. Nobody asks what it is for. Saturday evening, they go back. 4 of them this time. Kenny Collins does not go in. He takes a room across the road, sits at the window, and watches the street. The other 3 go back down the shaft, back through the shutter, back to the hole in the wall. They set the new ram against the cabinet and start pumping. Nothing. nothing. And then, on the far side of the wall, something shifts. The cabinet goes over, and behind it, the room opens up. The hole is 25 centimeters by 45. Only one of them is thin enough. 58 years old, through a hole the size of a car tire, into a room he has been imagining for 3 years. He is inside. He opens the vault door from the inside. The others walk in. 999 boxes. They have until Sunday morning. They work with crowbars and a handheld hydraulic spreader. Each box takes under a minute. Gold chains, loose diamonds, bundles of cash, passports, somebody's war medals.
They do not sort it. There is no time to sort it. At some point in the night, Terry Perkins sits down on the floor among the diamonds and injects himself. He is 67. It is his birthday. They fill 2 wheelie bins and several holdalls. 73 boxes are emptied. 926 are not. Sunday morning, 6:40. They wheel the bins out of the front door onto Hatton Garden. In broad daylight, past open shops, they push £20 million down a public street. The bins go into the back of the white Mercedes. The car pulls away. Nobody follows it. The vault stays open, in the dark, for 3 more days. Tuesday morning, the 7th of April, an employee arrives to open up for business. He walks down the corridor. He sees the shutter. He does not go any further. The flying squad arrive within the hour. What they find embarrasses everybody. The alarm had worked perfectly. It had been ignored. The press call them the Diamond Weezers. The story is treated as a joke about old men. It is not treated as a joke inside the investigation. 20 detectives are assigned. There is almost nothing to work with. No fingerprints, no faces, no witnesses. But a camera on a neighboring street had photographed a white Mercedes twice that weekend. The car belonged to a 74-year-old man from Islington with a long criminal record. From that point, the investigation stops looking for the burglars and starts listening to them. Devices go into 2 cars, and the men talk constantly. They talk about the split. They complain about each other. They complain about the traffic. Danny Jones boasts about going through the hole. Terry Perkins works out how much his share is worth. Kenny Collins admits he fell asleep on lookout. The others do not let him forget it. Every word is recorded. Every meeting is photographed. They meet at the same pub they have used for 3 years. They stand outside in the sun with their drinks. Across the road, in a parked car, 2 officers photograph all of it. On the 19th of May, the surveillance ends. "12 addresses, simultaneous arrests. All of them at home, most of them still in bed. In Danny Jones's house, officers find the paperback. The pages on hair and fibre are underlined. 6 men are in custody within the day. The 7th has gone. At Woolwich Crown Court, the judge calls it the largest burglary in English legal history. Reader, 6 years and 3 months. Perkins, Collins, Jones, Lincoln, 7 years each. Wood, 6. They had planned for 3 years and had spent about 3 days inside the building. About a third of what they took was recovered, buried in a cemetery, hidden behind a skirting board, under the floor of a garage. The rest has never been found. Terry Perkins died in prison in 2018. He was 69. Brian Reeder was released early in poor health. His last job took him the length of a bus route from home. And for 3 years, the seventh man remained a description. Red hair, a key, a name that was not his. In March 2018, officers arrested a 58-year-old man in a flat in Islington. Inside, they found jewelry, gold, and the tools of an alarm specialist.
He was convicted and sentenced to 10 years. He never explained where the key came from. 7 men, combined age 448. 2/3 of the money still gone. The vault was repaired. The boxes were replaced. The building is still there.
2/3 of what left that vault has never been found. Somewhere, it is still moving. Every crime leaves a file, and every file leaves metadata. This is EXIF. Subscribe. The next file is already open.